Hitler! Heil Hitler!
There's nothing about it because it's all rigged. I mean, the whole conversation is rigged. The conversation, the fact that we don't get to a discussion because it's all rigged. I mean, the whole conversation is rigged. The conversation, the fact that we don't get to a discussion.
You know, they're schemers. Schemers trying to control their little worlds.
What do we know about what has taken place down there?
The interconnectedness of what's going on here. So we have to start off with BP, British Petroleum, of course, who's a direct subsidiary of the Rothschilds. Now, they leased this rig, Deepwater Horizon, from a company called Transocean, who then also subcontracted to do the undersea work to Halliburton, okay? Transocean is a subsidiary of a company called Sonat Incorporated, whose CEO they hired away from Halliburton. And what I'm trying to do is fit all these pieces together, okay? Now, this Sonat company merged with another company called El Paso Corporation, whose prior CEO, a guy named Ronald Kuhn, came from Sonat. And the previous CEO, a guy named William Weiss, served with Dick Cheney. And Dick Cheney, of course, is the former CEO of Halliburton. So we come full circle here with this BP, Transocean, Halliburton connection. Now, my thinking on the reason why this happened down in the Gulf all comes back to one main thing, and it's Barack Obama's cap-and-trade legislation, that he wants to put in this carbon trading system, which sources say will eventually, if passed, generate about a $10 trillion a year market. And at the center of all this is a company called CCX. So what we have here, first of all, is if we go back to Chicago, we have something called the Joyce Foundation, which John Ayers, who's the brother of William Ayers, served on the board, as did somebody else, then Senator Barack Obama, okay? So this Joyce Foundation then created the Chicago Climate Exchange, which was funded by a man named Franklin Raines, who used to be the director of Fannie Mae. Now, Fannie Mae, of course, was primarily responsible for the housing collapse that we see right now. So the owners then of this Chicago Climate Exchange, one of them is a company called Generation Investment Management, whose chairman is Al Gore. Okay, the other founders are Henry Paulson, David Blood, Mark Ferguson, and Peter Harris, all who served on Goldman Sachs board, and they also purchased 10% of CCX, okay? And then another one of the CCX board directors is a guy named Maurice Strong, who I'm sure everybody out there knows, who has direct ties to the Rockefellers and Rothschilds. And if we now go to Goldman Sachs, who keeps popping up on all this, their non-executive chairman is a guy named Peter Sutherland, who was the former chairman of British Petroleum. Right. Now, British Petroleum then had four men, John Brown, Carl Hendricks Vonberg, Tony Hayward, and Peter Sutherland, who are all Bilderberg members. So if we bring this all now back full circle, the top recipient of campaign donations from British Petroleum during the 2008 election was Barack Obama, and the second highest political action committee to make contributions during that same election was Goldman Sachs, giving this money to Barack Obama. So the whole thing, in my view, revolves around this hoax of global warming. And M. Rothschilds in 2007 said that political leaders need to address global climate crisis with a single voice and impose rules that apply worldwide. And another guy, David Rothschild, said at the Copenhagen summit last year that was more about global governance rather than global warming. So what we see really at the center of all this is this need, just like with health care, to shove this cap-and-trade legislation down our throats. And since interest in it was waning, then this catastrophe, this sabotage down in the Gulf, is what ultimately I believe is going to lead to that.
You just used the word sabotage. So you believe that this thing was deliberate, that this was not an accident. You believe that this thing was deliberately done.
Oh, I absolutely believe so, and this wasn't incompetence or an accident. This was direct sabotage, and what we're seeing right now is this catastrophe that really has global ramifications.
You're watching The Madness of a Lost Society. November 26, 2010. Black Friday revealed yet further evidence of the complete madness of the populace of our lost society.
In case you didn't hear, the leaders of China and Russia.
China and Russia said that they are renouncing the dollar.
The best way to think of it is a ticking time bomb. At some stage, the dollar will fall sharply.
Now, you might be saying, Neil, what the heck does this mean to me?
As the dollar loses status as the world's reserve currency, as mystery missiles launch just off our shores, as North and South Korea take the world to the brink of war, as the TSA violates all measure of liberty and constitutional rights, and as the U.S. military itself prepares for the coming total economic collapse and breakdown of civil order, this is what Americans care about. Wanton, lustful commercialism, acting like animals fighting over trinkets made by human beings for slave wages. As you watch this horrific video, do you think any of these people own a single ounce of physical precious metal? Any gold? Any silver? Do you think that even one of them understands what the Federal Reserve is, or that the Fed is spending them into oblivion in economic slavery? Do you think even one among them has made any preparations at all for the day when there is no food on grocery store shelves? And do you think the morally bankrupt executives at Target or Walmart even care? This is what we've become. A decadent, mindless culture who by virtue of this complete and willful ignorance are now officially complicit in the crimes being perpetrated against us. Do you think these people who behave like animals, literally trampling each other over $198 laptops and $10 toasters, will even pause for a moment to consider their actions before they riot and burn entire cities when the days of hyperinflation finally arrive? When the grocery stores are bare? When they are truly desperate? This, my friends, is what a dumbed-down, morally bankrupt, completely broken society looks like, and this is how it behaves. No outrage over the bankers raping them. No outrage over their gutted industry. No outrage over their plundered dollar. Just blind, wanton stupidity. Just bread and circuses. The elite are social Darwinists, and they believe what they can get away with is fair game as long as we allow it. This is social engineering, and they've done it to us by design. They've turned us into animals that they can corral. We are no longer citizens in a republic safeguarded by our elected representatives. We are consumers feeding at a corporate trough managed by officials.
Will you tell the American people to whom you lent $2.2 trillion of their dollars?
Hundreds and hundreds of banks, any bank or that has access to the U.S. Federal Reserve's discount.
Tell us who they are.
No.
If this is America, who will stop them? Our entire system is corrupt and needs to be dismantled and begun anew. But from what base? If what happened on Friday across America is any indication of the condition of the American populace, then our very foundations are built of sand. May God forgive us for what we've become and for what we've allowed to happen to our nation. And may those of us with the courage and sense to do it renounce this behavior and the monstrous marketing ploy that is Black Friday in its entirety. This, my friends, is not us. We are the Republic. We are the informed. We are the proactive ones. And it is our job to lift up those who are lost. And saving our Republic is a full-time job. May God bless the Republic. Thanks for watching The Madness of a Lost Society.
I went to the doctor's because I had a bad cough. The doctor said, "Now, Freddie, can you take your clothes off?" He said, "If I heard something, can you cough or just sing?" And without hesitation, he grabbed my jingle-ling-a-ling. Come on, let's hear. Come on, let's hear. Sing it. Don't be shy. Let rip. Take a hold of it. Oh, my jingling and your jingling. I want you to play with my...
You know, they're schemers. Schemers trying to control their little worlds